Obviously, bringing guys in like Cairoli and Lupino just to sort of fast track, finalize everything, streamline the process. Just that expertise and experience they have, that's priceless to them to be able to make that bike as good as possible. So really smart decisions being made, like you said, by them, and transferring and implementing their knowledge from MotoGP and other forms of racing and their resources to sort of make a pretty formidable package once it's ready. I'm sure it'll be really ready, like you say, ready to race. That thing will be a weapon. And it's pretty important to remember that Tony still wants to ride. He loves riding. So does Alessandro Lupino. They love riding still and doing that. And they're pretty much best mates as well. So they'll be a pretty dynamic duo developing that bike too, won't they, mate? So I reckon that no stone unturned approach is going to pay off for Ducati.
Yeah, I think so. And for what concerned Tony, I think it wasn't an easy decision because we have to remember that since 21 years, Tony is living in Rome, is living with the De Carli family. He's not the rider of Claudio De Carli, he's almost his son. And Claudio and Ornella are almost his parents. But taking this decision was honestly a brave one, because he know perfectly, as he's one of the smartest person I know, he knew perfectly that this decision will take him apart of this family and putting a little bit by the side. Of course, they still friends and they will still being friends forever, and that's will not change. But the involvement of Tony with the friends, with the family, with everything was so deep, is so deep, that taking this huge decision put everyone in a difficult situation. I think for Claudio, it's probably the worst one, as for him, Tony is like a son, but he cannot, for example, receive him anymore at home or at the team, as now is a rival. And it never happened in their history since the first GP ever of Tony. Whatever Tony had done was with Claudio. Everything he achieved was with Claudio. And I won't say that everything Claudio achieved was with Tony, because he achieved 3 titles with Jorge, 1 with Kiko Chiodi. So he did pretty well with other riders. So, but I think that a lot of things that today Claudio have are because of Tony, and because of this partnership that was magic, was something really I don't see around me in the past 20, 30 years something comparable to this. 20 years together, 9 titles, 1 GP of the nation, and long-term friendship, 1 race won at every year from the first to the last. It's incredible. It's massive, and of course, it's still there. It's not destroyed. It was not put in the waste. But turning this page was, wow, a big stuff to do. I think that this page was heaviest than anybody, even more than deciding to stop racing, because it will need time to, reorganize everything and find out new balance of everything: family, friendship, work, rivalry. So, but Tony is like that. Tony needed a new challenge. But many people ask me, but why didn't stay? Because then, it's okay, social media, I hate the just the haters and the shit storm that sometimes happen on the social media. But like I saw half of the people saying, KTM, they're so stupid, so silly to let him go away. They were not able to give him what he needed to have. And on the other hand, another part of the follower were like, Tony is really not grateful, he's a bad person, he need to be more, to give more reward to what KTM did for him and give it to him. It's not like that. It's not like that at all. The guy is a rider and he's a racer, but I think that KTM could do whatever to try keeping him happy and in the program, but wasn't this. he needed something different. He needed to turn the page. He needed to. It was, I don't know how you say in English, but when you turn 18, you major and you start feeling this kind of feeling to go away from home and to build up your life by yourself. I think that for Tony was important to really have a challenge, a deep one, a huge one, a big one, and everything that you can put on the table, an Italian one, a legendary one, but doing something by himself and trying to see, I'm really able still to do something great, or I'm just now finished and I just need to go on with new stuff, but more quiet. This kind of adrenaline that goes into the veins of the rider at every weekend, at every time they jump on the bike. When you stop, you still need it. It's a kind of drug. It's a kind of really something that you need. And so, as I said, Tony is one of the smartest people that I know, and behind him there is one of the smartest women that I know, that is Gilles, and that's the one that will probably be able to keep everything in one piece with the Carly, with the family, with the friends, because she's not only smart, but she do everything always for the best of Tony, for the best of everyone that is involved. But in the meantime, I think that for Tony it was really important to have this kind of new challenge, new desire of proving something. And he want to ride. He want to ride every day. It's in love with the bike. It's in love with doing his job. And what was not anymore loved by him was to going on the gate and to have every weekend the same routine, doing practice, doing stuff, and being scheduled so strictly. Tony, just to give you an example, he had a few chances to try the road racing with the cars more than with the bikes. But he did also testing with Valentino Rossi Yamaha. He did testing with the KTM MotoGP bike. So, and his first impression at the end of the day was, oh, wow, braking fantastic, acceleration incredible, but so boring, because you need to be always on the same point at every corner, braking always there, open the throttle always at the right moment. There was no fantasy. And it was the same with the cars. It was racing with Lamborghini on track in Jerez de la Frontera, did pretty well, but was so boring for him. Rally, on the other hand, it's extremely exciting. It's fantastic. Why? Because you have to invent something new at every second. You have to resolve problem in thousands of seconds at every corner, and you have really to, build up something with your ability and with creativity, with fantasy. That's not question of being super precise, super good, this is not Tony. Tony is someone that is able to give his best while the conditions are worst. While he was winning the Rally Legend with the Lancia Delta, the mythic Delta Integrale of Mickey Biasion, or this time with Colin McRae Subaru, so another kind of legendary car. And you know what he did? He made the difference. He made the difference at every time the condition of the road were more difficult. With Lancia, while he won in 2016, if I'm not wrong, the first Rally Legend, he had a navigator next to him that was a proper navigator from rally since a long time. And he asked him how it was possible that in the complete fog, he was braking at exactly the right moment before turning into a corner that nobody could see. And he was giving the notes, of course, while the corner was coming. But then, you see if a driver goes into the corner perfectly as he see or as he feel, because the navigator is saying that there's a corner that you cannot see. So Antonio said, while we passed 2 days ago, I saw a sign on the ground, a little sign on the ground. And I would take this as a reference. So while I saw the sign on the ground, I just turned the steer wheel and I made the corner. And the guy was like, oh my God. And they gained like, I don't know, 3-4 seconds only in that corner compared to all the other professional rally rider. And he won against pro rally rider. But because that's his ability. So I think that what he need to come back on the decision that he did is to make something new, super exciting, and a little bit to jump into something so new, but also to jump, in the empty, as we say in Italy, without any kind of protection wire behind him. This kind of feeling of really being free and to approach something that only you can do it in the right way. And I think that with this knowledge, he can bring to this project something enormous. And I think that the team and the brand, the manufacturer, they take him for this reason, because they know how much Tony can bring to them in terms of knowledge.
Yeah, well said, mate. That's awesome insight into, why he's such an awesome rider and why he's going to be so good at what he does, and just the way they see things, and, that sort of instincts and the invention and the sort of things that other people see. It's like we say with the soccer tactics. It's like, are you watching the game?
Yes.
But are you watching the game? It's like with Tony and the bikes, isn't it? He's just obviously
I think
got that little bit of extra, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think that the instinct, the word you used, is the perfect one, because Tony was driven on one side by instinct in his career, and on the other side he has Claudio De Carli, that was the kind of ratio, the brain that was. But Tony is super smart, but the instinct is so important for him, and to be able to just express this kind of instinct is it's fantastic, it's incredible, and is what he really need to be happy and to feel free, and that's it's not only pure talent, there is something more. I remember while I was writing his biography that maybe we will need another chapter with the Ducati history in a couple of years, who knows, but I remember that I was trying to analyze the start. At the time, Tony was a kind of Prado for the starts. It was always fantastic, but sometimes start doesn't come so well. But in fact, it was this kind of ability to being into the start at the top of the speed and seeing everything like in a slow motion. So while someone doesn't see nothing, like me, for example, I'm so excited, so confused in that moment that I don't see nothing. So I just maybe push in the corner or just let the other pass because I'm scared. So those can be the two reactions. For him, everything goes slow. It's a kind of slow motion, while he's able to analyze at an incredible speed all the position of all the riders, where to put his bike, where really to be at the right moment, and then to cornering first. And that's a kind of ability that only few have. And Tony is this. He's pure instinct from one side, and on the other side is so incredible, smart, that he can think everything and analyze everything is around him.
Yeah, it's so true what you say, mate. And even though it's sort of a venture into the unknown, it's just a really exciting time for him and a great asset he's set to be for Ducati. And like you said, mate, those intangible characteristics, you can't teach them. They're impossible to teach. They're just so invaluable. So yeah, that's what Tony's, that's what his career's been, a big testament to it, just having those attributes that make him such an awesome rider and a great competitor, and why he's been so successful. And yeah, definitely going to see more success coming his way, mate. It'd be really cool to see the journey of Ducati and Tony and Lupino as well, mate, and all the team associated with that project. So we'll watch this space.